my God. And I said, yes, Baba, yes, Baba. I just jumped. And he started coming towards me. And the lady sitting next to me, she said, open your palms, open. And his hands were like this. And I said, no, he's coming to bless me. Open your palm, open your palm. He came with his hands like this. And he put like this on my arms. And lo and behold, my palm was full of vibhuti.
How has Sai Baba transformed your life?
He made me a good person. He's with me, since 85, every day. He's guided me. He has given me the really good support in every project I do.
We are 3 generations of Baba's devotees. And it started with my father in 1968. He came to our house when we were there.
In 73, somebody said in a place where I was doing Belgaum, there is a vibhuti coming. And I went and saw it, and it was really vibhuti coming. And I thought because you can make vibhuti by simple using household chemicals. It's a high school chemistry. So I thought somebody is tricking it. So I didn't believe in it. And when the lady went inside, I remember there was a picture of Swami with a black mole. I wiped the vibhuti, and it started coming. At the first time, I was witnessing something, and it hit me very hard.
I don't know whether it was a dream or whether it was true. I opened my eyes from the couch and I saw Swami standing right near my couch, standing like this. Then I was shocked.
Do you ever turn to him when you have a problem for guidance?
Yes, like whenever I take a test, I like say the Gayatri mantra one time, and then I get a pretty good grade.
It helps pretty much then, huh? Mm-hmm. Does that mean you don't have to study at all or do
Well,
homework?
yes, we still need to study, but I barely study.
I was so confident that there is a great purpose of me being there, and Swami will talk to me and guide me and all that, but it never happened and materialized. So one final day, after like 6 or 7 months after my first year, I wrote a letter saying, Swami, if you think I am a bad person or I am a mad person, tell me that on my face. I will leave now, never come back. Don't ignore me, which I cannot really tolerate. And then Swami did come that day, that particular day, just that day. And then
Whenever Souljourns is invited to Sai Retreats around America or abroad, a highlight for us is to capture the stories of how Sai Baba transforms lives. Welcome to Souljourns, and to these first-person accounts of Sai Baba's stories from Overland Park, Kansas. These interviews were recorded in September 2011. If you will, BJ, do you remember when you were first made aware of Sai Baba? How were you drawn to his form?
Yes, I very distinctly remember that. In 1984, when I was in Memphis, my wife is very much interested in singing and music, but I'm not, and I'm not a very religious person. And we used to have a Sai center in Memphis, and they used to have bhajans, in one of the apartment complex common building. And my job was to drop her there, and at the end, just go and pick her up. One day I went to pick her up, and the bhajans were still going on. There were about 10 more minutes, so I always used to sit on the last seat, on the last row, because I really was not very much interested in that. And to my surprise, the lady sitting next to me, she turned to me and said, "Can I give you a book to read?" And I said, "No, I really don't want it. I'm just going to sit here for 10 minutes, and pick up my wife and go home." She said, "No, have this book, She gave me that book, happens to be Sadhana, and I started reading it right there, and I read one page and second page and third page, and I got so much interested in it. I went home and finished the whole book. I went to bed about 4:30 in the morning. and became a Sai devotee that day.
So you went from becoming a Sai devotee after having no interest in religion or bhajans
Not at all.
to becoming the regional president of the Sai organization in Region 4 here in the United States.
That's right, yes.
That's quite a leap.
Yeah. And there's something else to add to that, in 84, in May, we were half a mile from the retreat in St. Louis. And my wife really wanted to go there, and I said, no, we're not really interested, we're not into Sai activities, so we're not going to go there, So we came back home. And since 85, I had never missed a retreat.
That's almost unbelievable. How has Sai Baba transformed your life?
He made me a good person. He's with me, since 85, every day. He's guided me. He has given me a really good support in every project I do. And it's really a very interesting story that he brought me to Rotary, then he brought me to Sai organization, and he figured out, to weigh how both organizations work together. I had a number of projects in India, number of, Seva projects, and I sent, from here, United States, more than $500,000 to India and different parts of the world, and doing projects, And it's really a wonderful way of, marrying the two organizations, and getting work done,
That's wonderful. And a very important question to many people, some of whom are still lost along the path, and that is, how would you answer the question about how your life has changed now that Sai Baba is no longer in the physical form?
It really hasn't changed, because I never had a privilege of having Swami's interview or, even talking to him, I've seen him a number of times. I had beautiful darshans a number of times, about 7, 8 times, each time I went there. But he's been with me all the time, and I feel his presence, in every instance, So it really doesn't make any difference, whether he's, physically present or not. Because I know he's with me, and I just know that he's guiding me in every step. And I think I was telling you, just a few days ago, we started an international festival in Memphis about 2 years ago. This is our 3rd year. And what we do is we invite different countries to come, showcase their country, sell authentic food, sell gift items, and present a culture program. And in 3 years, we have grown from 1,000 people to this year we have 5,000 people.
Oh, Sai Ram.
Yeah, we have only 3 people working on this. My main partner, she was in Palestine for 3 months. I was taken to India because my brother died. And so I had very little time, but Baba took care of all the things, and everything went very smoothly. So I really trust Swami, My motto is just you keep on doing your job and leave everything to Swami, and Swami will take care of everything else, Don't doubt or don't say, oh, how am I going to do this, I don't have time on this thing. You just keep on your doing job, and Swami will take care of everything.
Sai Ram, thank
Sai
you.
Ram.
First, I want to tell you that I grew up in a very religious family. So religion was nothing new to me as such, like, hearing about people and things, because my parents, my grandparents, everybody I had seen puja doing in the house and all those festivals and everything. And every day, the first thing that I want to tell, the 2 things that I learned from my parents. My father always used to tell me, good or bad, remember, this will pass. This will also pass. Everything is transient in this world except him.
Boy, Baba was always fond of saying, passing clouds, passing clouds.
Except him.
Yeah.
And my mother used to tell me that no matter what you say during the day or what you do, God is always with you, and 1 second in those 24 hours, he will listen to what you are saying and make it come true.
So
you have to be very careful what you say, what you do, because if you are doing something wrong or saying bad, that may come true and you will regret all your life.
So, having said that, like a laser beam, focus in on how he proved to you who he is.
Then I heard about Baba from my brother and my brother-in-law. And I don't know how in 1995 I got this urge, beginning January or so. I must go to Puttaparthi and see. And I started getting And I told my husband that I want to go. He being in a position could arrange that he was going to south to visit the universities and he will take me. And as it happened, some things unforeseen came up, and the decision was like whether we can go or not. And both the things happened simultaneously. My son called my husband, he was in America. Daddy, Mummy is set on this thing. Please take her before anything happens to her. His boss told him, if you are going to Puttaparthi to visit Baba, I will take care of the job you are doing here, so don't worry. So Baba planned it for me, because both the situations were where it would not have been possible. I went there, I got a very fine seat. I knew that Baba will be coming from this side, and I sat there waiting for him. He came, he passed me about 200 yards, turned back, looked at me, and gave a small, slight smile and said, Mathur. And my ego, I said, everybody knows I am Mrs. Mathur, so what?
But he knew your name, though.
Then he read my mind, and he looked at me, that meaningful smile, and he said, ah, Madhur.
He actually knew your first and last name.
He knew both the names.
What did you think about that?
And that is when I said, my God. And I said, yes, Baba, yes, Baba. I just jumped. And he started coming towards me. And the lady sitting next to me, she said, open your palms, open. And his hands were like this. And I said, no, he's coming to bless me. Open your palm, open your palm. He came with his hands like this. And he put like this on my arms. And lo and behold, my palm was full of vibhuti. I still keep that vibhuti in my thing.
Oh, you still have
And
it?
I keep a drop of it and bring the big one and keep mixing it so that blessed vibhuti is there in my vibhuti all the time.
And what kind of a coincidence, what did you make of the fact that he knew both of your names?
That made me think that it was my ego which was telling me that he doesn't know anything. He knows everything. Oh. And then I felt, when he went away, I said, but I didn't. No, this time he went in for the interview and he came back. And people were throwing, he used to throw those sweets and things. He came all the way, he passed me again, went to the other side, and there was this one lady with that thal of sweets. He picked up and he had his hand like this as if he was going to throw. And then he gave a look at me. He closed his palm, came back, dropped it in my hands.
Oh, my goodness.
That was the prasad. He went away. He used to go to the interview room, go back and then come back. In those days, he used to give 2 darshans in the mornings also. And then I told my friend that I said, I wish he came that close to me to give the sweets. I didn't take the path namaskaram. She said, don't worry. I don't. And I told her, I don't want an interview or anything, but I wanted path namaskaram. So next time when we were sitting there, he came and he stood next to me, his feet towards me, and his face towards the lady who was next to me, a foreigner who had a newborn baby. And he started asking her, what's his name? She gave the name. Again he repeated the question, what's his name? She repeated. And I'm looking at him like this. And third time, after 2 times, it dawned on me, his feet are right there.
So you
and
took
I just
advantage of it.
put my head on his feet. And he was still asking, this is the third time he had asked, what's his name? And by that time I had put my head down. So he pulled his feet very slowly back. And without listening to her answer, he walked away. Oh. And I cannot explain anything after that. It was too much for me.
Amazing. Just an amazing story.
Just
One final question. Who is Sai Baba?
I still cannot say anything because, as I was saying, I am a religious person and the funny thing is, the only thing that I will tell you is very interesting. Whether Baba or my Bihariji, because I am a Bihariji person, the Mathura Vrindavan God, they call him Bihariji. And I have been going to Vrindavan ever since I was maybe 1 year or 2 year old. And I know every bit of land in Vrindavan. Every single place I have put my foot on. And so whenever something happens to me, everything that I do, everything that happens to me is Bihari ji doing.
Oh.
Whether it is my gas tank is full and I am not aware of it and I suddenly stand there and it is a gas station. Or it is at home that I have turned off, I forgot to turn off the gas and I go out and suddenly halfway through I will tell my husband, turn around, I forgot this. And the morning was, you left your gas on. I had to take care of it.
So you are guided.
So I am constantly being guided in small, small things. Like this is what I'm saying.
Very
when
good.
he tells me that, like, it slipped my mind right
Oh,
now.
that's
the
okay.
words.
Don't worry. You said so many wonderful things already. I just want to thank you for especially that first story. It's so
See,
beautiful.
his is like he tells me when I'm praying morning I pray, and everything that I have to do the whole day or something, it comes to me at that time. And when I tell him after the prayer, remember this, he said, but how do you remember all these things like this? I said, he tells me.
You have a secret pipeline.
I have a secret pipeline. I talk to him all the time.
Sai Ram, thank you so
Sai Ram,
much.
Sai Ram.
I studied at Swami's College, Parthi, 97 till 2000. Did my BSc Physics honors, and I'm very fortunate for that.
And now you work for.
I now work for H&R Block, downtown Kansas City.
So what's a person with a degree in physics doing working for an accountant firm?
Actually, more than work, I think I'm spending more time in doing seva in Kansas City and being part of this Sai Center. I always used to wonder why Swami gives me so much of free time and all my works get done. I hold a position as a manager and I always get sweet team who gives less headaches to me, and that way I get more time to also concentrate on Sai activities.
So that's just your day job, and Swami's arranged it so that you don't have to work nearly as hard as other people, so that you have more time to do your full-time job, which is to do Swami's work.
True. I completely believe in that.
And what's the most significant work you do with Swami in mind?
The significant work is interacting with YAs and doing all activities with YAs, because
YAs are?
YAs are young adults, and we have a lot of young adults here in Kansas City as well as nearby places of Kansas,
And when
Columbia.
people
and
hear
Rolla.
that term, young adults, they think of children, but the
Okay.
young adults go all the way up into people who are in their 30s, correct?
Yes, that's true. And there are also a lot of natural disasters and also other things which unites all young adults together. That is so beautiful to see how people really get together and rise to the occasion and come to help. And also we see Swami's presence every time, because to me a miracle is actually something which Swami is doing for you anonymously, but leaving his signature so that you will realize his unseen hands.
And you were telling me, taking me to the different venues here, how many times you've witnessed Swami's signature show up in your life.
Oh yeah, the very recent one is when we all young adults are coming back from Joplin, where we really toiled cleaning all the debris
After the hurricane.
after the hurricane, and we all were so devastated after going through all that experience. And while on our way back, we were talking about why does this happen, and we are talking about how karma affects so many things, and we are also wanting to know, Swami, we don't want to take any results of the actions what we are doing, so how do we make sure the karma doesn't work and gives us good results? We want to just dedicate these things so it will be used to for the people who have lost their houses and also their near and dear ones at Joplin. And then some of the young adults were asking more deeper questions on karma, and we were just talking cluelessly, and then we just stopped at some point because we were not getting anywhere, and then suddenly we saw a car just passing by, and we see the nameplate of the car read karma.
It did.
And then we all looked at each other and we were spellbound.
We talk about a signature from Sai Baba.
Yeah.
That must have made you just give you goosebumps.
Yeah, that's true. a signature of Sai Baba? Okay. I'll just share one experience. As a student, when I joined Parthi, I joined without any knowledge on Swami. I just joined there as a escape from my house. Want to study in a place where I have to not deal with any pressure on education and peer pressure and all that. I was not that smart, you know. And I always pray Swami and get through my
you
exams.
pursued a degree in physics and you're saying you weren't that smart?
Tell that to my lecturers and even everybody will laugh. I mean, for first 6 months I joined Parthi. I never had any interaction with Swami, though I wanted to very desperately talk to him, and I want him to guide me personally into a spiritual path. Somehow the first step into the college itself brought a lot of transformation in me. I was telling you from streets, Swami picked up from streets of Hyderabad into this beautiful place, heaven I can say. And then I was so confident that there is a great purpose of me being there, and Swami will talk to me and guide me and all that, but it never happened and materialized. So one final day, after like 6 or 7 months after my first year, I wrote a letter saying, Swami, if you think I am a bad person or I am a mad person, tell me that on my face. I will leave now, never come back. Don't ignore me, which I cannot really tolerate. And then Swami did come that day, that particular day, just that day, and then came straight to me, looked at me, and you could imagine the kind of reaction I would be having in me. Tears were just running down my eyes, and I was just looking at his face, and at that moment I just even forgot that I had this letter in my hand, and just looking at him, and he asked me, where are you from? I said, Hyderabad, Swami. Hyderabad, oh, Hyderabad boy. And he called me like 2 or 3 times after that, referring to as Hyderabad boy. Then he asked me, why did you come here? I said, Swami, I'm studying my BSc. Oh, BA, that's good. I said, Swami, not BA, BSc. And Swami, I thought he's not able to hear to me, and then I just started moving a little more closer to him, my foolishness. And then he acted as if he's not hearing, and he bent a little more, closing the gap between his ear and my mouth. And then again he repeated, BA. I said, Swami, no, BSc. Then again he said, oh, MA. Then
What did that mean?
MA is Master of Arts.
Oh, MA, okay.
And BA is Bachelor of Arts. BSc is Bachelor of Sciences. And then that is the time when I suddenly got this knowledge that I should now keep myself quiet.
You tried to correct Swami twice already.
Yeah, Swami is definitely trying to teach me something. And I just smiled, and I stopped responding back, and I smiled at him. And then he said, add D to BA, and it becomes bad. He said, add a D to MA, and it becomes mad. And he said, see, you are not bad, you are not mad.
Oh my goodness.
You have come here to study BSc. Study that. And actually, you can see the goosebumps again coming all over me. That's the only wonderful experience I have directly with Swami, with Swami's own signature.
How many more do you need?
Yes, we don't need any more.
You mean you were actually threatening Baba in your prayers?
Yeah. And I wrote exactly the same
And you
words.
wrote that in the letter, which
Yeah.
you were forgetting to give him,
Yeah.
that if I'm bad,
Yeah.
if I'm mad,
Yeah.
just tell me and I'll
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
And he kept saying, you're BA,
Yeah.
BA,
Yeah.
add a D,
Yeah.
and then MA,
Yeah.
add a D.
Yeah.
That's an amazing
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, and that's the greatest lesson of my life with Swami. I keep hearing him in all the discourses. Live in present, live in present.
And you told me earlier that you were not just from the streets of Hyderabad, but that you were a bad boy from the streets of Hyderabad.
That's true.
and that you came, and your first year, nobody talked to you. Not just Swami, but
Yeah,
nobody talked
nobody
to you.
talked to me. I was not known to much of my classmates, and
So you must have been terribly discouraged.
no, not at all. I like that. I like to be introvert. I like to be a loner.
And now you're the president of the Sai Center.
Swami finds his own ways to open up and push me into all these places. And
But you did say you were sorry that you had no interaction with Swami that first year or so,
yeah,
until you had to have this confrontation with him in your heart. And that's the day he showed up in front of you
yeah,
with that exchange that he had with you.
that is true.
What an amazing story. How bad were you in Hyderabad?
Oh, you should ask my friends. There used to be several complaints about me from my neighbors, and used to be very.
Well,
I don't
how
want
did
to
you
talk
get
all that
How
now.
did you get into the university at Prashanti?
And again, it's all Swami's own hand in everything. My father and his friend, my father's friend is a devotee of Swami, and he insisted, and he gave an application form of college to my father, and at that time I was just finding escape places from my home, and this was a perfect opportunity. I just went through the prospectus. The first page of the prospectus has Swami's picture. I never looked at it. I just went through it, and I was seeing, okay, how many holidays do they have? Do they allow us to just stay there forever and all that? And it felt like what a wonderful place. Like all these devotional things and integral education and yoga and so many things. I felt, oh my God, this is the place where I really wanted to go.
And you'd be removing yourself from the pressures, difficulties, and young people taking people into the wrong direction from the streets of Hyderabad by going to the university there. You'd be making life not only different for yourself, but more pleasant for yourself.
That's true. I completely agree with what you said.
What a beautiful story. You're not bad and you're not mad. Now,
Trying to live up to that words.
Raja, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
We are 3 generations of Baba's devotees. And it started with my father in 1968. He came to our house when we were there, staying with him. At that time, my daughter had undergone surgery and there were some problems. And my father was Shirdi Sai Baba. We at that time did not know about Bharti. So when Baba came to our house, there were some defects were left after the surgery, and only 3 people knew: me, my husband, and my father. And Baba sat there and told us what were the defects, what was the speech that she couldn't talk, what were the words she was not able to say. And he called her in front, asked her to put her hand out, and gave her a peda, just like that. And we were all standing next to her, and he said, "Eat it." From that day, she couldn't speak in spite of her surgeries.
Really?
She had hair, lip, and a cleft palate. And we were all physicians. We didn't know what to do. And Baba came and gave her the peda, and she started to speak slowly.
Now, I'm not familiar with what peda is.
Peda is a sweet made with milk and sugar.
So that's an Indian sweet.
Indian sweet.
And that's all he did was to give that to her.
Yes.
And it cured her.
Slowly she started speaking.
From that point
From
forward.
that point. It wasn't immediate, but slowly she started speaking. So next incident I'll tell you is, he used to come to Bombay, and we were very fortunate. We would go to Dharmakshetra to see him. And I was very much worried that my second child will be also born with a cleft lip and a palate, because I'm a doctor, my husband is a doctor, my father was a doctor. So we were worried as to, there is a history that it repeats. Mm-hmm. So when we went for the interview, he called my daughter, he said, "Tamma beku?" So we were all shocked, And Baba said, he came to me, he said, "Don't worry, you will have a boy and he'll be perfect."
And?
And he is perfect.
You had a boy.
I had a boy, and he's perfect.
What did you make of that? Especially a family of scientists. You were all
scientists.
How could you
We are
reconcile that?
But we are all religious. We believed in Shirdi Baba, we believed in Bharti Baba, and still believe in Bharti Baba.
And you showed me this photograph. That's
Yeah.
your mother in the foreground.
Father, yeah.
And-
When Baba came to our house.
That looks like it might have been taken in the 60s.
68.
So he really blessed your family many
Yes.
times in many different ways.
Yes, my brother is an orthopedic surgeon. He works at the specialty hospital. Because of him, we were able to get so many interviews. When my mother passed away, we were in US and we were very upset. So
Yes, but your brother wasn't an orthopedic surgeon in the 60s, was he?
no, he was very young. That time he didn't even believe in Baba.
So what caused Baba to come to your home to visit you so early?
My father asked him to come and he just came.
I'm sure many people asked him to come and he wasn't going to
Yeah.
have time
No,
to come
we
to
were, I'm telling you, we were lucky to have him. So many interviews we had with him. When my mother passed away, we were so upset. We were all sitting there and crying. He came and said, I'm your mother, I'm your father from now on. And I still believe that.
What a beautiful story.
Yeah. And at that time, he had given this pendant.
Yes, pull it out. Let me see.
He had given this pendant to my mother. He had materialized this pendant.
That's a big materialization.
Yes. And
What's on the back side? Anything?
nothing.
Okay, let me see the front side again. So he made that for your mother.
Yes.
It's a beautiful picture.
And after she passed away, my brother.
Do you remember the year or when she might have done this? He might have done this?
No.
Okay. A long time ago?
Long time ago.
Okay.
Because my mother has passed away for now more than
All right.
20, 25 years ago.
And
So,
then after she passed away,
we all went to India for the last rites. And I asked my brother, can I have the pendant? And he said, how can I give you your 3 sisters? So I said, okay. So when we went, we had the interview. So we were sitting there and I'm asking my sister, can I ask him for the pendant? And he comes to me and says, kya kuch puch karta hai? So he used to speak in Hindi. So I said, Baba, I want Mama's pendant. He said, take it. From that time, I'm wearing it all the time.
who wouldn't? Anybody would wear it all the time.
He has given ring to my brother, my sister, but for me, this more than enough. My last interview was 2009 when I went to him.
Now he was not altogether very healthy in 2009.
healthy,
So
yes.
tell me about that interview. Was he able to talk to you at all?
Oh yes, he was able to talk to us. He asked my brother who had come. He said, come. So he said, I have people with me. So he said, who is with you? My wife and my sister. He just turned around and said, doctor? And he said, yes.
So he remembered?
He remembered.
That
So
must have
when
made
we
you feel
went
very good.
in, he asked me, would you like to come and stay here? And I said, Baba, of course I would love to, but that was not in our destiny to come and stay. One interview I still remember is when my husband and me, we both were there and we were taken inside and we asked Baba, I said, Baba, we are in America now, we are well settled. Should we come to Perthi and serve you? He said, no. Stay where you are and serve the people there
So he really wanted you to stay where you are for a purpose.
for a purpose.
Well, let me ask you the question that I think is so important for other people to hear right now too. And since he left his body, his physical form, has it changed your life? Has it changed your outlook about Baba
No,
at
not
all?
at all, not at all. His physical body is gone, but he's still there. For me, he's still there.
Who is Sai Baba?
Sai Baba is avatar. He's Guru, my God, everything in my life and our whole family.
And somebody looking upon you, hearing this interview, might say, why you? Why your family? Why are you so special? How would you answer them?
Maybe we are blessed, I feel, because the punya my father and mother did was given to all of us. My brother, my sister-in-law, my other sister, my husband, me, my daughter, everybody are blessed.
And because of your parents' initial interest in Shirdi Sai Baba,
Yes,
your family goes back into perhaps the early part of the 1960s with Satya
Yes.
Sai Baba?
yes.
So that's a long time to have
Long
Swami
time.
in your family as your
in our
spiritual
family.
mother, father.
Yes,
And one last question.
yes.
How has Sai Baba's presence in your life, spiritually, physically, and now, after his physical form has departed, transformed your life?
He told us, the moment he said, stay in America and work there, love all, serve all, that's what I feel he told us to do. So that's what we are doing. Now that I'm retired, but and because of health reason, I'm not able to do many things. But I wanted to go and work at Shirdi, but it's not possible. They told us, last visit we went and asked if we should work at the general hospital, since we are both doctors. And we have degree from India. And he said, no, we have enough doctors.
But you are still working. You're sharing your story, just like you are here. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank you.
I come from a pretty large family. I had 7 brothers, 2 sisters.
I'd say that's a very large family.
I was the 9th child, and my father was a gold jeweler. He was we were filthy rich at the time I was born. And my mother will never serve us a dinner unless we do bhajans and arati every day. And I didn't like singing bhajans because they were old. I come from a Marathi, they were old, long bhajans, and you need a very classical training to sing one, and I didn't enjoy singing bhajans, but I knew we will not get dinner. So that was the thing, and that's the way I was grown up. And my father, when he was rich, he built a temple in India, a Devi temple. And within few years, he lost everything. We became from princess to pauper. I mean, it didn't take a long time. And because of the big family, we just survived by selling my mother's jewelry for a long time. And in 1963, I remember, one of the priests where my father has built the temple has gone to Parthi. And he knew my parents were followers of Shirdi Sai Baba. So he came and said the Sai Baba is reborn as a Sat Sai Baba. And I was 9 years old, and I distinctly remember what he was saying. He was saying, oh, he does like this and he gives you money, he does like this, he gives you bhuti. And I told to my elder brother who is in Wisconsin, why don't you go to this guy and ask a lot of money? Why should live in poverty? You know, that was the only thing I had in my mind. And that was it. We had not seen picture, nothing. And I don't have to go in detail, then time forward. And in 1968, somebody told us that he is coming to our place, Karwar. And we had gone there. And if you know, I was born with the Shirdi form, you know, he used to beg for the food, he used to wear the, you know, torn clothes and other thing. And I was sitting there and I saw him, and this guy, you know.
You saw Sai Baba.
Sai Baba, his hairstyle. And those days he used to eat pan, that's the bitter leaves, and his lips were crimson red. And I said, how in the world this guy can be a saint? You know, I mean, saint means you have to give up everything in life, and this guy's iron. And he straight came to me and did like this and produced vibhuti. I didn't get it. Somebody else got it. And then he went and he started giving a discourse on Bhagavad Gita. And the first bhajan is saying, the Chitta Chura Yashoda ke Bal. And I was hooked on his bhajans. I mean, from that day, nobody has to tell me to sing bhajans because I just love singing bhajans.
So you had an immediate transformation,
Yeah.
just like that,
Yeah.
in one day.
Yeah, but I didn't believe in him because I was skeptical.
So what caused, in a couple of minutes, what
Yeah, I can
brought
tell
you
you.
to believe in
Okay.
him like you do today?
Then in 73, somebody said in a place where I was living, Belgaum, there is a vibhuti coming. And I went and saw it, and it was really vibhuti coming. And I thought because you can make vibhuti with simple using household chemicals, it's a high school chemistry. So I thought somebody is tricking it, so I didn't believe in it. And when the lady went inside, I remember there was a picture of Swami with a black mole. I wiped the vibhuti, and it started coming. At the first time, I was witnessing something, and it hit me very hard. And then I graduated, and I had an interview at Baba Atomic Research Center in Bombay, Bombay. And I was roaming at the fort area, and in India they sell this on the wheel cart like Bhel Puri and other thing. And there was a picture of Swami holding a garland in front of Krishna statue in the Vrindavan. And I asked what it is, and he said, it's a book. And he said, what book it is? It's a Man of Miracle by Howard Murphy. I bought that book, and at that time, my brother and I was staying in the hostel in Dharwad, and he read the book, and he said, I don't believe anything. He asked me, do you believe this? I mean, this is such person exist? And I said, I have no idea. So he left. He didn't tell anyone of our family other thing. He packed the suitcase and he went to Parthi. And he was there during the Shivratri. I don't have time to go in detail, but by the time he came back, he was totally transformed person. But so far I had seen other people experience. I never had an experience. And in 1974, I was working in Baba Atomic Research Center, and my brother is already in United States. And he sent me a picture of wearing black jacket with snow and other thing. And when I looked at it, my God, I said, I want to come. But I had just BSc in chemistry. And nowadays with internet, other thing, people know about India. In 73, India was known as like a caste, cow and curries. I mean, there is not much new. It was not easy to come to this country without master's degree minimum.
But from what you've told me,
Yeah.
there are two big questions I want to ask.
Yeah.
And the first one is, what you're leading up to now, before I get to the second one, what was the actual event or moment when you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt?
That is what I will tell.
Okay.
This was in April of 1974. I used to get up for meditation. I was spiritual. I had got up at 4:30, and you know, when you get up so early, you doze, you sleepy, you know. And I don't know, when I was not sleeping or anything, I was just dozed. And at that time, Swami came to me and said, you want to go to States, you are going, why you are worried? Exactly 3 lines. So the next day I got up, and I didn't give much importance because I was thinking of going to States. I was meditating on him. So I thought it's like a residual memory came back to me. At that time I didn't have that much faith. I went to Baba Atomic Research Center, and I talked to a person called Shetty, and I said, he was a very ardent devotee. I said, this is what happened. And he said, then you are going. If Swami said you are going, you are going. And I said, this is next to impossible because I have just as BS. They don't even consider admission without masters. And I don't not only need masters, I mean the admission, I need a full scholarship. So then after 10 days, I got a application form from University of Akron. I had never applied. And it came like a strange to me, didn't apply and came. And next day I got a letter from my brother, and I don't have time to go into detailing exactly what happened. So I applied the form, and my brother also said, don't leave the company because nobody has come. And in August 22nd of 1975, I had gone to Ramakrishna Mission to chant Ekadashi Rama Mantram. And I got up in the morning, and again in meditation, Swami came and he gave me a white roll with a distinct blue color and knob. Didn't say a single word. And then next day I went to work, and when I came home, the full scholarship was lying. And that was the kind of a transformation point for me. And after that I had many
experiences. He was guiding you correctly.
And to go that dream always remained in me. And when I got my PhD from University of Michigan in 1973, it was exactly same nod with a blue color ribbon
Really?
of University of Michigan.
So it's an amazing story, and it can only be followed up by my asking you, who is Sai Baba in your mind?
From what I heard, from what I read, and from what I experienced, Sai Baba is a complete avatara, and he came so that we can talk to us with him, we can walk with him, and we can sing with him. And I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that he was a perfect avatar.
Wonderful. Sai Ram.
I would probably refer to as the very first miracle that happened in my life is what that transformed my life to have to believe him. I heard a lot of stories from Sai Baba, from Muthu, who is currently my husband right now. But I went to Puttaparthi once. I did not believe yet that Swami is God.
And when was this, more or less? 10 years ago?
2000, I would say.
2000,
Yeah,
okay.
10 years ago. I went and saw Swami. I came back. I know he had some transformation in life, but I still had many doubts that how can a mad be God, and all those crazy thoughts were going on in my head. Because I come from a very orthodox family where we believe in one God and we think He is a God, and God is in form of an idol or in form of a photo. But there was one instant, I usually like a lot of rings. I got a small ring from Puttaparthi with a black ring which had a Swami's photo in it. And I used to wear that all the time after that. And I used to help my mom clean vessels every day. And there was many times when I was washing vessels, I used to feel that, this is Swami. Swami has some power. I'm washing some utensils that are eaten food. I should not put all those, on Swami when I wash vessels. I should remove it and keep every time I wash vessels. But then I gave that thought, let's not worry about it right now. And then a day when I had my final exams of a semester, the day before the exams, I got up from my bed, I saw the ring. There was the ring, but Swami's photo was not there. So I looked everywhere in the house, my sister, my grandmother, everywhere. We looked almost everywhere inside in the house, wherever I used to go, wherever I used to sit. I could not find the ring. It was almost 7 to 10 days after that. I was really shocked because I lost Swami's ring. And I still wore the black ring without Swami's photo, just an empty frame. And praying to Swami that I want to get his photo back. I know that someday I will get his photo back. 7 to 10 days later, I was sitting in the bench right outside the house, just ready on a Sunday, all prepared for the exam. And my sister, all of a sudden, out of the blue, she said, "Why don't you go near this coconut tree and look for that photo?" Out of the blue, we were talking about something else. Out of the blue, she said that. And I was like, why is she telling me this? And okay, I believed in her, say that, thinking, okay, there's something made her tell that. So I walked in, looked around the coconut tree. There were some dishes there, but I walked around it, and then there was nothing there actually. Then I was like, there is nothing here, and then immediately a thought came to me. Okay, there was many times where I washed utensils without removing Swami from my hand. That used food on Swami is what caused me Swami to go away from me. From then I prayed to Swami for just a second, saying that I will never ever have any used food in front of you, or I'll never touch it henceforth. And then I turned back, I saw Swami's ring appear in front of me, right in front of my eyes.
You did? You saw
the
it actually
same
appear?
Photo. The same photo.
Oh my goodness.
That I last appear in front of my eyes near the coconut tree. I still have that photo with me, and I believe from that day I just believe that Swami is everything, Swami is God. From that day I used to feel that Swami is talking to me all the time. Swami is there everywhere, and I believe that every religion is God. Swami is there in all of us. That's one of the main instances that transformed my life to have to believe in Him.
So that was a profound miracle for you, right before your very eyes. Did you say that you had already looked in that area before?
I looked at it, nothing was there. I looked at it very closely, nothing was there. And then I knew nothing was there. And then the thought that came to me, saying that was the instant that made Swami go away from me. And I prayed to Swami that I will never ever wash any vessels when I have you in my hand. It appeared right in front of my eyes.
Now, when you say it appeared, was it a case where you were looking here, and as you looked back, you saw that it was sitting there all along?
It appeared right in front of my eyes.
It appeared right in front of your eyes. Mm-hmm. And did you ever figure out what caused your sister to suggest that area to look?
She could not explain. She had no clue.
She didn't have anything to do with this. She just felt an urge to tell you to look there. That's amazing. And since Swami is no longer in his physical form, it affects people differently. How has it affected your life?
It was a very sad event, definitely. It was very hard to believe that Swami was not there anymore. I really wanted to go to Puttaparthi one more time to see him, but there is no chance for that anymore. But I was praying to Swami that if Swami is really not there, Swami is there all the time, but only if he's not there in physical form. I used to keep praying, Swami, why don't you show me your presence? Why don't you show me your presence? I kept praying him. Then on a day, no one was there at home. I was sleeping in my couch. And then for almost a night, that I keep saying that Swami is going to show himself. Swami is going to show himself. He's going to show himself one day, and I'm going to be really scared. And I had that thought, and then I started to sleep for some time. And then I don't know whether it was a dream or whether it was true. I opened my eyes from the couch, and I saw Swami standing right in near my couch, standing like this. Then I was shocked as I was feeling like that before, and I got up and saw no one was there, and then I felt that Swami has already shown me that he is there, although he is not there in his physical form. He is always there with us. He is still guiding us. Although we are not very disciplined yet, I still pray Swami that to give me a disciplined and a well good life.
It must not be too required that you be disciplined because he's appeared to you again, huh?
Yeah, that's true, but still to be more disciplined and more sincere, because I feel that the only way to reach Swami is through to be very devoted, to be very sincere, and to be very dedicated.
That's a beautiful story. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you.
So, Kartik, you know the drill. You're following along very carefully. What is it that you would like to say that's on your mind right now about Sai Baba and his presence in your life? Just the first thing that hits you that you think you'd like to share with us.
Well, I performed before Swami one time in Buddha Parati. I think that was in 2009.
How old were you then?
I was 9 years old.
You were a young man to be performing before Swami.
I know, it was like this pilgrimage. He did this play called United Sai America.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a Buddhist monk.
And how was that experience for you?
It was great, even though I didn't get to meet him. I still got to see him pretty close, and he was like smiling at me.
Wonderful. Who is Sai Baba?
Who's Sai Baba? He's my guru. He's everything to me. He's my mom and my dad. He's my friend, and he's everything around me. He's even animal. He's everything.
I know he's with you in your heart all the time, but he's no longer with you in the physical form. Do you miss him?
Well, I remember in one of his discourses, he says, "Don't worry if I'm not there, and I'll always be with you," but he's still there in my heart, and I don't really feel sad about it.
And instead of a last question for me to ask you, I'm going to turn the tables and allow you to say whatever it is that you'd like to also say about your relationship with your mother, father, Sai Baba.
Let's see. I was born into a Sai family. Yeah, I was born into a Sai family, and I was very young. I was just right after I was born. I was just into a Sai family.
So you've been with Sai your whole life.
Yep, pretty much.
And do you ever turn to him when you have a problem for guidance?
Yes, like whenever I take a test, I like say the Gayatri mantra one time, and then I get a pretty good grade.
It helps pretty much then, huh? Does that mean you don't have to study at all or do
Well,
homework?
yes, we still need to study, but I barely study. Like I just study it like once or twice, and then I get it.
But he wants you to do your duty, right?
Well, yeah.
And you do your duty.
Well,
You study enough that you understand the subject.
Yeah, sure.
And then the Gayatris carry you over the goal line.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
And what would your life be without Sai Baba in it?
Oh, it would be horrible. I would have been a very bad kid. I'd get in trouble in class, and that would have happened if I wasn't a Swami devotee.
Wonderful. Sai Ram. Thank you, Kartik.
So,
Sri Rama Charanam, Sri Rama Charanam, Sri Rama Charanam Bhaje. Sri Rama Charanam, Sri Rama Charanam, Sri Rama Charanam Bhaje. Vaidhi Ramam, Vaikuntha Ramam, Vaidhi Ramam, Vaikuntha Ramam, Gopala Chudamani, Gopala Chudamani, Gopala Chudamani, Gopala Chudamani, Atma-viramam, Prabhu Sai Ramam, Atma-viramam, Prabhu Sai Ramam, Sri Rama Charanam Bhaje, Sri Rama Charanam Bhaje, Sri Rama Charanam Bhaje, Sri Rama Charanam Bhaje, Satya Sai 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 Rama Charanam Bhaje. Sri Rama Charanam, Sri Rama Charanam, Sri श्रीराम